Ma'am, when your daughter followed after this defendant towards McDonald's, was that the last time you ever saw your daughter alive?
Yes.
Welcome back. I'm Cassie and this is A Wicked World. The story I have for you today is about a little girl who was kidnapped in a very public place and right in front of her mother. Her mother who had a bad feeling to begin with, but ignored her intuition. And she would end up paying the ultimate price. This is the story of Cherish Perrywinkle. Cherish Perrywinkle was born December 24, 2004 in Jacksonville, Florida, to her father, Billy Giroux, and her mother, Rain Perrywinkle, who called Cherish the best Christmas gift she had ever gotten. Cherish also had 3 sisters. She attended the 2nd grade at Chaffee Trail Elementary School in Jacksonville, and she also loved to attend Paxton Revival Center Church. Cherish loved to spend hours drawing beautiful pictures that she shared with her mother and others. She also loved to play school with her sisters, and she would teach them how to read. Cherish had a great sense of humor, and she would always tell her mother Rain that she wanted to be like her when she grew up. Just recently, the 8-year-old had learned to ride her bike without training wheels, and she was very proud of herself for this. Cherish also loved to dress up in her mother's clothes and loved watching movies with her mom. So Cherish's father, Billy, had been in the Navy as well as recently divorced when he met Rain in 2003. Rain was working at a strip club at the time, and Billy was a regular there. The two of them ended up having a one-night stand. Shortly after, Rain informed Billy that she was pregnant with Cherish. But when Billy asked to get a paternity test done, as he needed it to put Cherish on his military benefits, Rain refused. The court, however, would order a paternity test to be done 3 years later when Rain had applied for government benefits. This resulted in Billy finding out that Cherish was indeed his daughter, and he began to financially support her. He was also granted more time with Cherish, and over the next few years, he would fight for custody of her because he did not believe that her mother, Rain, was capable of being a mother. But Rain would retain custody of Cherish. Apparently, however, even the custody evaluator in the case said that she feared for Cherish's safety because her mother and her mother's boyfriend created an unstable environment. Rain was said to be neglectful of her children at times, and sometimes she had emotional outbursts due to her bipolar disorder. But the custody case evaluator also said that Cherish and her father hadn't properly bonded. Regardless, the evaluator still felt that Cherish would be much better off in her father's care. On June 21, 2013, 8-year-old Cherish Perrywinkle was getting ready to fly out to California the next day to see her father. She was going to be spending the summer with him, so her and her mother Rain were getting ready, and they packed her bags, washed Cherish's hair, then went out to buy her some new clothes. It was around 7:30 that evening that Rain, Cherish, and 2 of Cherish's sisters went to a Dollar General on Edgewood Avenue in Jacksonville, Florida. Rain didn't drive and she didn't have a car, so she and the girls, along with the stroller, walked to the store. It was about a 20-minute walk from where they lived. Rain and the 3 girls looked at some clothes at the Dollar General store. Rain had $100, but that was supposed to be enough for her to not only buy clothes, but also household items and pay to travel to the airport to drop off Cherish the following morning. So not much of that money was going towards Cherish's clothing. Rain would bring a few items up to the register to check the price on them, as she had to spend wisely. One thing that she really wanted to buy for Cherish was a white dress with little red hearts on it. However, she ended up realizing it was too much and had to put it back. Unbeknownst to her, a man had been watching the mother and her 3 children as they walked around the store. This man would also ask the cashier if the mother had to put some of her clothes back, The cashier confirmed that she did. He had then waited outside the store for Rain, where he struck up a conversation with her. This man's name was Donald Smith, and he told her that he was waiting for his wife to pick him up. He also mentioned that he noticed she had to put some clothing back that she wanted to buy for her girls, but he had a $150 Walmart gift card, and he was more than happy to spend it on her. But he just had to wait for his wife to get there because she was the one that had the gift card, he claimed. Rain thanked Don and accepted his offer. The mother, the 3 girls, and this strange man then stood around talking in the parking lot, waiting for Don's wife to come pick them up. But when she still had not shown up after about 20 minutes, Don told Rain that they could just meet her at Walmart instead. At that point, it had also started to rain outside, so the mother and the 3 girls could walk home and get wet, or they could accept Don's ride and go get some new clothes at Walmart. And even though Rain was reluctant at first, she accepted Don's offer again and got in the van. Don's van actually belonged to his mother. It was a white van that had carpeting inside and blinds on the windows. Once they were inside the van, Don drove them to Walmart, which was about 10 minutes away. His wife was still not there, but Don was insisting that she was going to meet them any time now. Don told Rain that he was going to sit in his van and wait for his wife to get there. So Rain and the 3 girls went into Walmart and began to pick out clothing. Don would later end up joining them inside the store after his wife had still not arrived. This was because Don didn't have a wife. While he was walking around Walmart with the mother and her girls, Don didn't get much for himself. Only one thing, a bundle of rope. This man also seemed to have his eye on 8-year-old Cherish. He had even picked out some shoes for her to wear, but they were highly inappropriate as they were women's high heels. Rain would say that she thought maybe he was just an older man and he was confused about what kind of shoes young girls wore. Even more disturbing is the fact that he took Cherish to the dressing room twice, alone. And Rain had allowed it, partially because she was busy with her other children, and partially because, as she would later say, she didn't want to seem like she was being too overprotective. That's not being overprotective. That's being a mother. You do not let your child go with a strange man. Ever. Ever. Around 10 p.m., they still had not eaten dinner, so Dawn offered to go buy them some cheeseburgers at the McDonald's that was inside the Walmart. Cherish could tag along. And Rain agreed. She figured the store was still full of people, and the restaurant was right inside the store anyways. However, the surveillance footage showed that instead of going to the McDonald's, Dawn took Cherish and walked out of the store. This would be the last time that Cherish was seen alive. After 20 minutes had passed and Dawn and Cherish had not come back, Rain began to worry. Walmart was closing soon. She had a shopping cart full of clothing, no gift card, no sign of Dawn, his wife, or Cherish. She spent another 20 to 30 minutes panicking and searching the Walmart as well as the parking lot. But still, there was no sign of Cherish or Dawn. At 11:20, she finally used an employee's phone to call 911 because she had left her cell phone in Dawn's van. This was her frantic explanation to authorities.
Jackson 911 Robinson. Hi, I'm at Walmart. I'm interested in taken.
What do you mean?
Taken by a stranger. I can't find her because the store is closed right now.
Okay, is he a white man or a black man?
A white man. He's got white short hair and he's got dark eyebrows.
You said dark short hair?
No, he's got white hair and dark eyebrows. I had a strange feeling about him when I first met him, and he took her to the dressing room twice, and I was hoping that she would be okay. And I was looking at the shoes, and I didn't want him to think that I was overly protective, freaking out. But now they're not here, and I find it very odd because he knew that.
Oh, okay, ma'am. What color vehicle does he drive?
It's a white van.
Do you remember any stickers or anything on the side of the van? Anything that you can remember at all? Did it have tinted windows or anything?
I know he's got carpet in the van. I didn't take a good look. Sorry.
And he said what?
I didn't take a good look at the van.
Okay, do you remember did you see any tag on it or anything? Was it a Florida tag?
No, I didn't look at that. I feel like a fool.
Okay, can you remember what he had on?
No, I don't remember anything because I'm panicking right now.
Okay, ma'am, what's your name?
My name's... He said his name is Dawn. He said he was supposed to meet his wife here, and his wife never showed up, and I couldn't figure out why. His wife didn't even show up at Dollar General.
And he told you that y'all were going to meet his wife at the Walmart?
Yes. First, she was supposed to show up at Dollar General, and then he was going to meet with her at Walmart. And we've been here probably 2 hours. And she didn't show up, and I have this cart full of clothes that he said he was going to pay for with a $100 gift card, and I had a bad feeling. I thought, well, I feel like pinching myself because this is too good to be true. So I got to the checkout. He's not here. He isn't here. Now, I'm hoping he's not raping her right now because I've had that done to me. And it's not fun. Please. She's supposed to go to California in the morning on the plane. And he knows this. I told him this. He knew when the store was closing. I had a bad feeling about him.
Okay, how long have you been looking for you? When was the last time you saw him? How long ago?
About half an hour ago.
So you've been looking for her for a half an hour?
Yes. There's nobody in the store. And he knew the store was closing. He said he was going to McDonald's. She went with him. I should have told her to stay with me.
He was going to the McDonald's inside the store?
Yes, there's a McDonald's inside the store. He wasn't here. Oh, somebody said they saw him, but he's not here. He should have had the nerve to stand here and wait. He must know that I'm panicking by now. Excuse me?
Who are you talking to?
Walmart employee. They're talking to my girls because they haven't had anything to eat.
What you say, ma'am?
They haven't had anything to eat, so the Walmart employee was talking to my girls.
Talking to your who?
My girls.
Okay, you have more kids with you?
Yes, I have two. My other ones, I think he took her.
Okay, ma'am, you think she's been taken? You say you have other kids with you?
Yes, I do. He was giving too much attention. He wanted her to buy these really tall shoes that were women's shoes, and I told him no. I said they're too high for her. I wouldn't even wear shoes that high. Maybe he was grooming her. I hope to God he doesn't kill her, and I hope to God he doesn't rape her.
Okay, and when did you meet him today?
I met him at Dollar General on Edgewood. I was struggling with my money to buy the girls some clothes, and he saw that what I was doing, and he waited for us outside the store. And he said that he was waiting on his wife to show up. And so I waited around to meet her, and she didn't show up. And then he said he was going to give us a ride over here to Walmart. And then we waited in the parking lot for maybe 20 minutes for her to show up. She didn't show up. So we all went into the store. We've been here about 2 hours. And she didn't show up. And I don't understand why he would leave right now unless he's going to rape her and kill her. That's the only reason. And I'm wasting my time standing here.
You're not wasting your time, ma'am. We have officers on their way to you.
I can't remember what I'm wearing. I need to sit down and be calm and close my eyes and try to remember what I'm wearing. And it had a big space in the middle of the van where he had taken out a couple of seats, and he put my stroller in there, or I put the stroller in there. I don't want him to kill her. I don't want to be one of those parents that are going through this. I feel responsible because I told him when I first met him that I was a little bit scared of him because I thought he was waiting to rob us outside the Dollar General because he was just standing there. And he said, well, if you really want that dress, I'll go get it for her. I should have told him no. My girls need clothes so bad, that's why I let him do it, but I'm so sorry. Now these ladies have to put all the clothes back in the store.
Can you remember anything else about him? Whenever you were talking to him, did he sound funny, like he had an accent or anything? Or
he said he works for Haberjacks.
He said he worked for Haberjacks?
Yes.
Did he say where they lived?
No, I don't remember that. He said his wife is from the Virgin Islands. We had a little chat in the van on the way over.
And did he say he lived on that side of town or anything?
He said he didn't know this part of town. He wasn't sure about this part of town. Oh my gosh. He knows the store is closed. He knows McDonald's is closed. Why in the world would he take?
You don't see the van in the parking lot or anything where y'all left it?
Well,
have you been outside to the parking lot?
I went outside the door, but I don't think I see the van. Let's see. Yeah, he took her. He took her away.
Okay, who are you speaking with, ma'am?
I'm speaking to a Walmart employee. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Are you outside now, ma'am?
Yeah, there's 2 police officers out here, 2 police cars.
Okay, go ahead and speak with officers.
Thank you.
The police, however, were familiar with Don. 61-year-old Donald Smith was a registered sex offender with offenses that dated back all the way to the 70s. In 1977, he had been convicted of lewd and lascivious behavior on a child under 16 years old. And in 1993, he had been sentenced to 5 years in prison after attempting to kidnap a minor. In fact, he had actually just been released from prison 3 weeks before he took Cherish. Jacksonville police put on a be on the lookout for Cherish Perrywinkle, Donald Smith, and his white van. But for some reason, it wouldn't be until nearly 5 hours later that an Amber Alert was issued. Donald's roommate actually heard the Amber Alert, and he reached out to police, telling them that he would provide them with any information that they needed. Despite searching through the night, it was only 9 a.m. the next morning that police would get a break in the case. An officer who was dealing with a separate incident on Interstate 95 had seen Dawn's van drive by and recognized it. Dawn was then pulled over and arrested. When they checked the van, it was empty. Cherish was nowhere to be seen. Rain had also left the items she bought at the Dollar General along with the stroller inside Dawn's van. Those were also gone. And Dawn was wearing the same clothing that he had on the night prior, a black t-shirt and jeans, and his bottom half was soaking wet. He told officers that the reason he was wet was because he had been with prostitutes the night before, doing crack cocaine. And when he did that drug, it made him sweat profusely. But police knew the truth. Wherever Cherish was, it was likely near a body of water. A little while prior to Dawn being pulled over at 8:34, a citizen had called police saying that there was a suspicious vehicle that looked to be Dawn's van.
Hi, we're calling about a suspicious van over here, a white van. It was parked behind some bushes. It's not there anymore, but we don't know if he dumped anything because we heard a girl just got abducted from Walmart.
It was parked near some woods at the Highland Baptist Church on Rutgers Road. This person also told them that Dawn's van had been parked near a creek. And since they had found him wet, police were sure they knew where Cherish's body was. With the help of a police dog, they searched the water, and they would make a devastating discovery. Cherish's body, and she was still wearing the same dress she had on the night prior. She was in the water, and her body was being weighed down by some bricks and debris. A plastic Walmart bag was found nearby. Cherish had injuries all over her body. She had been gagged so severely that she had bled from her nose and gums. She had also been SA'd, and so violently that the coroner would say her genitalia was distorted. She had additionally suffered blunt force trauma and had ligature marks to her neck. Her body also had defensive wounds on it, which showed that the 67-pound 8-year-old had fought for her life. However, she was no match for the monster who had kidnapped her. Donald Smith was charged with kidnapping, sexual battery, and first-degree murder of Cherish Perrywinkle. And the evidence against Dawn was overwhelming. There was the CCTV footage that showed him leaving with Cherish. He was still wet at the time of his arrest. And a citizen had seen his van parked near the creek where Cherish's body had been found. Additionally, there was plenty of DNA evidence found on Cherish's body and Donald's. Donald Smith's trial began in February of 2018, and it was very traumatizing for all involved. While presenting evidence, the chief medical examiner actually broke down and had to take a break. Cherish did not die quickly, and she did not die easily. In fact, hers was a brutal and tortured death, the state attorney said. During the trial, some secret jailhouse recordings of Dawn were played. In the calls, he can be heard talking to some other inmates about a group of 12 and 13-year-old girls who had visited the jail.
When you look at the girl ass, you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know how old they are? About 12, 13. You can see the wine glass on her ass. That's right in my alley right there. That's my target area right there. That's what I go after. Well, you have fun with that one. Yeah, I like to run into her at Walmart.
In these recordings, Dawn would also say that Cherish had a big butt for a white girl. This man is absolutely disgusting. Further recordings revealed how Dawn intended to use an insanity defense at his trial. In a phone conversation that he had with his mother, he can be heard asking her for a copy of the DSM-IV, a guide to mental disorders. Dawn also tells his mother his version of events and how he ended up taking Cherish. Dawn told his mother that Cherish had followed him out to the parking lot that night, and she had jumped into his van on her own. He knew that he was already going to get in trouble for just having her with him due to his prior convictions, so he decided to just go for it. In all likelihood, Cherish wouldn't have been concerned about getting into Dawn's van because she, her sisters, and her mother had just been in there, maybe an hour prior. The other people at Walmart probably just thought it was a grandfather and his granddaughter walking out of the store together. In his discussion with his mother, Dawn also put emphasis on his violation of Cherish being a violent act. Obviously, it is a violent act, but he wanted it to be seen as him inflicting rage and violence on Cherish, not like she was a sexual object. He obviously did not want to be seen as a pedophile, but that's exactly what he is.
Hey, Nancy didn't have all that. She's just missing. And look at that. I mean, they have bodyguards all around her. They don't even know whether the child's dead or alive, just missing. This is huge. Be aware. It is huge. It's as big as anything that's ever hit. It's as big as any Jimmy Rice or anything like that. It's that big.
You crazy. No way. I'm not hitting the kids. We're in the store. 45 minutes. So anyway, now I'm getting manic. Starting to like shake. I'm thinking, oh God, how am I going to get away from these people? Because now they're going to want to ride home. I want to ride home. For sure. They bring home and Turner stuff. I'm manic. So anyway, intercom says the store is closed. It's 24-hour almost. Not anymore. It's changed. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go get something to eat. They're all shopping. Little girl said, I'm gonna go get something to eat. At McDonald's up front. I can separate myself and leave. So anyway, the little girl, what's her name, Cherish, I'm walking out, she comes up. And I said, no, go back there with your mom. She goes, I'm going with you. Want McDonald's? I said, no, go ask your mom if she wants something to eat. She goes, no. I said, so I'll walk back there with her. I said, hey, do you want something to eat? Yeah, I said, I'm going to grab you a couple cheeseburgers. You want cheeseburgers? Yeah. So I told Cherish that your mom wanted to eat some cheeseburgers. So I'm going to just walk out the door. She walks up there. So I said, the girl on the floor. And closed. I said, are you closed? Yeah. I said, how much drive is these cheeseburgers? Yeah. She told me, I said, okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to get my wallet. I told Cherish, stay right here. I'm going to go get my wallet. I go out the door. I get halfway across the parking lot. Here she comes running out the parking lot. She goes, where are you going? I said, go back inside. I'm going to get my wallet. I'm trying to drive away. I'm trying to get away. I get out to my van. Security comes right there in front of my van. She comes running up. And I'm panicking. Now I'm panicking. Now I'm a sex offender. An 8-year-old girl out of the parking lot of my truck with security right there. Her mother is inside. My mind starts to freak. And I mean, freak. I'm shaking because now this is kidnapping. I have moved her out of the building. She's not letting me ask. She just ran out. She attached herself to me. Run out the building. The cameras will show. I went out the building. She was still there. She ran behind me to catch me. I'm hot. Now I'm freaking out because it's like, shit, I'm afraid of this girl. I'm panicking. She was in a pit bull. I'm freaking out. So I'm thinking about it, telling security, hey man. But he drives off. He's right in front of my van. He drives by. As she runs up, got my van door, so she just comes right in the van. That's what I told Harry. He says, man, what she got in your van, you were fucked. I said, you're right. That's exactly what my mind said. Don, you got an 8-year-old girl in your van. They'll never believe anything that you say. If her mother comes out right now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm telling you, I was freaking out. It's my headlights were like flashing, and I'm freaking out. Out. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna start my van, and pull up to the door. And it's like, then what the fuck am I gonna do? She said, there's my little girl. I went out, so I turned the other way. And there was a car in the parking lot. I another car with people in it. So I stopped. I was going to tell him, hey man, take this girl back inside. But now I'm thinking, holy shit, I don't know what to do. In my mind, it just went boom. I said, oh hell no. I mean, I can feel my stomach shaking right now. I said, oh hell no. Oh hell no. I don't know what I'm going to do now. So I'm in the parking lot. And I'm driving. I don't know what to do. All I knew was, you gotta go. You have to go. I don't care how. You gotta go. It happened.
Donald wanted to be sentenced to death. He didn't want to be sentenced to life in prison because he was afraid the other inmates would kill him. He's likely right. And he got what he wanted. It took the jury only 15 minutes to find him guilty of both first-degree murder and sexual battery. And in May of 2018, he was sentenced to death. Now in Florida, all cases involving first-degree murder are given an appeal. As such, Donald Smith reappeared in court in 2020, fully intending to fight his death sentence. However, his sentence was upheld. Shortly after Cherish's death, her other sisters were removed from Rain's custody. They would end up being adopted by an aunt who lived in Australia. Apparently, Rain had actually been born in Australia, and her birth name was Kimberly. She had also had a daughter while she lived there, and she had abandoned her when she was only 5 years old. Rain had come to America, changed her name, then never looked back again. In interviews with her family from Australia, they said that she was not a good mother and they always feared for her children.
I'm related to that person, you know, that's my mother, and it just makes me feel sick.
Her own daughter doesn't want a thing to do with her.
I've never wanted to have anything to do with her because of who she is. But she's a bad mother.
Her sister refuses to talk to her.
Quite simply, is she the world's worst mum?
It's the worst I've ever heard of. Worst case of child neglect that I've ever heard of.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
Clearly, Rain Perrywinkle doesn't think she's a bad mum.
And the nausea I feel, and the pain, the agony, and I don't want any mom to have to go through what I'm going through.
She's my sister and I love her, but I'll never forgive her for what she's done.
Rain's sister Kerry and Rain's oldest daughter Lindsay say Rain is the reason one of her children is dead.
It's terrible, but I think about it every day. I can't sleep. You know, so it's been a year and it feels like it was just yesterday. As soon as I start thinking about it, it kills me, so.
And Lindsay, can I ask you who you blame for what happened to Cherish?
My mother. 100%. Oh, you know, that pedophile was going to get, any child was going to get somebody, he was going to do it to someone. And he saw my mum as an easy mark.
He was a known pedophile.
40 years history, 4 decades of sex offences and crime against children.
I thought I taught them everything about stranger danger.
Before she was murdered, little Cherish begged her grandmother Leslie to let her come and live with her in Australia.
I don't really think they were being looked after, and it really worried me. I really think there was something was going on.
Do you feel that the community and individuals are really blaming you for it?
Yes, a lot of them.
In the States, Rain Perrywinkle has become big news.
If I could say one more thing to Cherish, what would it be? Wait for me at the gate.
She's enjoying being a public figure and really doesn't understand that what she's done is so wrong.
And following her daughter's death, Rain had an extremely difficult time holding down a job. Not only because she was grieving, but also because many people were blaming her for Cherish's death. One of those people was Cherish's father, Billy. Rain had never been supportive of her daughter going out to see her father in California. So when Billy had first heard that his daughter was missing, he didn't quite believe it. He also is not so sure that Rain's story is 100% the truth. He thinks that the story that night doesn't add up. It has to be more than just coincidence. And there are many people online as well that agree with Billy. Things just don't make sense. Many people believe that Rain might have sold her daughter that night. She trusted a creepy man that she didn't know to go with her 8-year-old daughter alone. Obviously, she didn't think her daughter was going to get killed that night, but was she setting her up for something else? It's also said that Cherish had previously been essayed by somebody in her life.
I'm Cherish Perrywinkle's mother. The Bible says an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Don't keep him alive so he can keep getting out. It ends now. Thank you everyone for your support. I couldn't have done it all without you. This is for Cherish and other victims. Other victims out there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cherish's father has said that he looks at a picture of his daughter every day, and he remembers a life that ended much too soon. Her life was hard, Billy said, and even though it's hard to believe that a kid could be happy in that situation, Cherish was never unhappy. She always had a smile on her face and was the happiest kid. Cherish Perrywinkle's funeral was held on Friday, June 28, 2013, at Paxson Revival Center Church in Jacksonville, Florida. She was then buried at Riverside Memorial Park, also in Jacksonville. Well, thank you for listening to all of Cherish's story today. Cherish's mother, Rain, had an extremely bad feeling about Dawn, but she ignored it. She ignored it because Dawn was buying things for her. Even though she seemed like she was putting her children first by buying them clothing, she clearly was not. But whether the story that Rain has told is the truth or there's something more to the story, Rain seemed vulnerable and easily manipulated, and she was preyed upon by a monster. And in the end, it's ultimately Dawn's fault that Cherish is dead. So if you like true crime and you want to hear it from me, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. And turn on those notifications too, so you'll know when I upload a new video, which is at least twice every week. Thanks for watching A Wicked World today. Until next time, take care guys. Bye. Thank you to all the patrons of A Wicked World. Now, there's even more of A Wicked World on Patreon. So check it out at patreon.com/awickedworld or use the Patreon app. You'll have access to exclusive videos each month and more. Any support truly helps to make sure the victims never get forgotten and to highlight the shortcomings of society associated with each case. Also, if you haven't yet, go check out my new channel, Wicked Ways. Do you have a suggestion for a case you'd like to see me cover? If so, send me an email at awickedworldtruecrime@gmail.com.